We live in a culture where over 70% of our lives is dictated by our work calendars. So it's absolutely mind-blowing to me that a lot of people don't take control and they don't have a great strategy around how they plan out their work week. In this video, I'll go over exactly how I plan my work week and how you can knock out all of your tasks right out of the park. When I plan my calendar, I like to start really big picture, so holistically, and then drilling down into the details. You should have a general idea on what your current projects are, what your milestones or deliverables are, and in general, what types of tasks will need to get done in order for you to reach those milestones. After you've taken the time to really assess those three really important factors, let's dive into how I like to prepare my calendar. So if you're in a client-facing role like myself, you'll always want to first prioritize and plan around your client-facing meetings. And it makes sense, the customer always comes first. You want to make sure that you're available and that you cater to their schedule, as they are one of the most important partners that you will work with. The best way to plan around this is to think about what types of meetings you'll need with the client, and then schedule those in advance to make sure that you have time on your calendar. So usually a couple weeks before, I'll always plan out what types of client meetings I'll need for the future subsequent weeks. Once I've gotten all the client-facing meetings scheduled in my calendar, I'll then hold time blocks on my calendar to try to get high priority tasks done, and generally this will be between meetings. By time blocking on my calendar, we're accomplishing a couple of things here. The first of which is you're holding yourself accountable to doing a certain task, and being that it's publicly on your calendar, your coworkers and any other team members will be able to see and will be able to hold you accountable to doing it as well. Number two, it shows internal team members that you have a plan and a schedule for each of your weeks. Time blocking puts the power in your hands with allowing you to prioritize what you need to get done. If you don't have holds on your calendar for when you plan to do things, your internal team members could think that you're available and they may grab time on your calendar, which may not be the most productive thing in the moment. Time blocking is a great way for you to empower yourself to get time back in order to get the high priority things done. Okay, so now we've got our client-facing meetings. We also have time blocking for any important tasks. Next, let's talk about internal meetings with your team members. So as a project manager and likely any client-facing role, it's a constant battle and struggle, honestly, between balancing client-facing meetings, internal meetings, and also juggling the work that you need to do in order to make progress. I always like to prioritize the client first, and then having time for myself to get important deliverables done, and then prioritizing internal meetings. Of course, this can vary depending on your organization. There are of course certain meetings that you cannot miss internally, but by having this mindset of first prioritizing the customer and then getting your high priority work done, I promise you, you'll make your team's lives a lot better, and you'll be achieving so many more results and deliverables because you're focused on the actual goals. For internal meetings, really take the time to understand what the purpose of the meeting is for and how you'll be contributing to those meetings. Oftentimes, if you're pulled into meetings where you're not really offering value and you're not really contributing, you're not actively engaging in conversation, a lot of the notes and the updates can be sent over to you via email, and I find that to be a more productive use of my time. So really use your best judgment here and try to understand what type of value you offer to the meeting and if you're really contributing. As busy as we are during the work week, I think it's really important that you take time for vacation, take time to go with your family and do cool things. And during that time period, you'll need to find backups. So when I plan my schedule, I like to give my backups at least a couple of weeks in advance notice. So really what all that means is, if you're client-facing, your goals are, number one, customer satisfaction, and number two, hitting results and deliverables. If you're doing both of those two, you'll be doing a great job. So here are 3 additional tips that I've personally used for keeping my calendar as clean as possible and making sure I have the most amount of time in order to get things done. Number 1, I use this concept called Rule of 3, and that really means, what are the 3 tasks that I need to get done by the end of the day? Realistically, as a project manager and being client-facing, you'll probably have over 5 hours of meetings a day, and you'll find it very difficult in order to find the time in order to get the things done. Likely, you'll probably already have a running list of tasks that you'll need to do, and that task list is only getting longer by the day. So take a step back, really think about what are the 3 most urgent and high priority things that you need to do, and then time block and hold yourself accountable to getting those things done. Tip number 2. Sync your day based on how productive you are. When are you most focused? For myself, I think I'm most focused in the mornings. So right when I wake up, I like to have an hour or two to myself where I can really just do deep work and use that time to make progress on projects that need to be done. Think about when you have the most energy and when you're most focused. Whether that's the morning, the afternoon, or the evening, everyone is completely different. You may need that cup of joe in order to get the sparks flying, but regardless, try to understand your body and when you are most productive. Once you figured out the timing, plan your work around when you're most focused, and I guarantee you'll get more stuff done. And last but not least, you should be cleaning your calendar at least a couple of times a week. Keeping your calendar clean is one of the best ways that you can empower yourself to get more time back in the day. Decline any meetings you don't need to attend or you're not adding value. Really understand the purpose of internal meetings and reduce the frequency if you're not actively contributing or if there's not productive discussions happening. Evaluate if there are offline or other communication methods that can be used aside from just having to meet. Overall, these are some learned lessons and some tips that I've used to keep my calendar as clean as possible to make sure that I have time in my day to get the things done. Please comment below any tips or strategies that you've used, and let me know in the comments if you found this video helpful. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you all in the next video.